time it's on everything. The life you chasing, I'm cheddaring. No matter the form of the weaponry, gotta keep stalking my destiny. Time's getting worse, I'm bettering. My sin is secure, ain't no tethering. I ain't gon' stop till I rest in peace and they put the hold on my great lettering. Every time, I ain't lay back unless I'm in my 300. Circle is little, cause I keep it 100. Minus my issues, I'm so hard when I'm on it. 100% ain't enough, I get 200. Every time, know what I'ma run from. I'm that one opponent, you don't want none from. Manual van where my strength get pumped from. So let's go lie to the child of God. Standing toe to toe, no hot now. The Lord is with me, you can't fight the rock. I got the sauce, you want mile to hide. The destiny mine, I'ma stalk it out. The strength assassin, you just bought it out. Your giant carcass, I'ma walk it out. You gon' be wishing that you wouldn't have called me out. Cause every time be on that throw down. Let's get us a showdown. Come and get some, I got another go around. Big as it is, so hard they go down. Since destiny something we can't change, but quitting will stop you from great gains. And faith will make capable great things. I done decided to break pain. Lives around and call me on my A game. So speed like the A train. The thing that I'm stalking on, I gotta maintain. I'm by myself, I don't gang bang. When you want to get in my crown in, I'm down every time, not just now and then. Yeah, I heard you got your thousands, but me, yo, I got my 10,000s. God gave me dreams doing that, I would chest it.
I'm steady chasing, I'm staying focused on what I'm gonna be. I'm making it up, but I won't lose my, cause I'm still stuck in my destiny. I'm still stuck in my destiny.
Good afternoon. What is up, BFAM 109.6, Facebook family, and YouTube family at Stalk Your Destiny? How are y'all doing today? This is Tea Time with Tarah, live and on air. I am your host, Tarah M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Here we discuss business and Bible basics. We believe you have a voice and it needs to be heard. Please be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube page at Stalk Your Destiny. Also, catch episodes of my show, Tea Time with Tarah Show, where I have guests on and I ask those guests, what do they need along their way to stalking their destiny? What do they need along their journey to stalking their destiny? You can follow me if you like on Instagram at Stalk Your Destiny Official. Again, I am Tarah M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Welcome to Tea Time with Tarah, live and on air. How are y'all doing today? Oh, good Monday afternoon. Good morning, Monday morning. To some of you all. Shout out, y'all, to my sponsors for the show today, guys. Today, one of our sponsors is Handy Hicks LLC. Shout out to them. Thank you so much for supporting the show. And then also, Stalk Your Destiny is still a sponsor of the show as well. So shout out to them as well, which is my company, guys. Stalk Your Destiny is my company, but Handy Hicks LLC, be sure to check them out. They are a sponsor for the show. Let's get right into it, guys. The food for thought. As y'all know, we start off with our food for thought quote. This food for thought quote comes from, let me go over the quote for you guys first. The quote today says, "Don't be so busy that you cannot make time to focus on what it is you are doing." Don't be so busy that you cannot make time to focus on what it is you are doing. Now, what do I mean by that? It can be self-explanatory, y'all. Of course, like, don't be so busy that you just busy being busy, right? But also there's a thing that's like, focus on what you're focused on. Or like, there's something that Les Brown says, commit to your commitments, right? Sometimes we can get so busy doing things that we're actually doing nothing, that it amounts to nothing, right? And so, let me check this real quick. And so this quote, y'all, comes from the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny, which is one of my books, an interactive book on leadership. It's for young adults, any age, doesn't matter. This is the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny. It says, everything you want to become, you already are. Okay, guys? You can get this book at my website, www.stalkyourdestiny.com/shop. Okay, you can get that book or any other of my books, even the devotional that I'll be reading from today, and I'll show you guys that when we get to it. But don't be so busy that you cannot make time to focus on what it is you're doing. Okay. And so this kind of reminds me of like Mary and Martha. When Jesus was coming to visit, right? Jesus was coming to visit. Mary sat at Jesus's feet, and Martha was just up busy working, right? Up busy cleaning. And she was missing out on the presence of God. You know, how many of us have like friends that come over or visit, and you just want everything to be so perfect that you forget that your friend has arrived? That they have arrived. Okay. And so we've got to make sure that we are present in our moments, that we're not just busy being busy. And sometimes that's avoidance. You know, we're busy being busy because we don't want to feel at that time. You know, some people just don't want to deal with their emotions. You want to be numb. You want to act like things did not happen or take place. And so you're just busy being busy, y'all. And even in business, when you're busy being busy, you got to make sure that the things that you're doing are adding up, which we talked about last week. If you missed that show, go back on YouTube and find the show from last week and take a look at that. Things have to add up, right? And so if you're being busy, be busy getting after a certain goal, an end goal, okay? Be busy going forward towards what it is you're seeking to have be completed. Okay. And so just to be mindful of that you're not just doing something just to do it. You know, we waste a lot of time. And the thing about that is we don't recognize where our time goes when we just waste it. You know, when we're just out here just doing something just to be doing it, we don't recognize like you're losing all the time that you thought you had. You know, we're losing those things. And so we have to be mindful of that, you know, and that's important too. I think last week I might have spoken about like having a, maybe last week, I'm not sure, but I may have mentioned before about, you know, having a things to do list and then having a when are you going to do those things. And so being busy can be a distraction. It can be a distraction. And also pace yourself. Like I'm one of those people where I want to do everything I have in my mind in a certain amount of time. Like I need it to be a certain way at a certain amount of time. That's just like my goal. It's like my challenge for myself is I want to see if I can do all of this in this amount of time. Right. And it kind of comes down to, you have to know yourself. Okay. I know that I am a person that works best with a full plate. If my plate is not full, then it can be a little bit all over the place, which is why people are like, hi, Adrian. Oh, hi, Drea. So I can be all over the place, which is why, you know, people are like, how do you get so much done? Well, I can get so much done because I work best with a full plate. And so when I am busy, I'm typically unavailable when I'm busy, because when I'm busy, I'm going after the end goal for multiple things at the same time, multiple projects at the same time. But if you're not someone that works best with pressure, you know, if you're not a pressure cooker type of person, then maybe don't get busy being busy, because then you're just going to have all these unfinished projects and things. And then you're going to need to hire somebody like me to come along and help you, which I'm not mad about it. You know, hire help, ask for help. However, understand your level. Understand where you work best at executing whatever it is you're executing for your destiny, purpose, or the completion of whatever project or idea you have in mind, even if it's something as simple as, you know, for young people doing chores, you know, other people for studying, or for your job, you have projects at work, entrepreneurship, any of those things. Be sure to know your own level of production, and be sure to know your level of pressure that you can take. You know, like I said, I work best with a full plate. I can produce a lot from a full plate. Whereas that's a lot of weight and pressure for someone else. They need to stick to one thing at a time. All right, y'all. So that is the quote, the food for thought quote for the day today, y'all. And so our devotional for today, guys, because this is business and Bible basics, okay? And I'm trying to make sure y'all can see this, and I'm not sure. Our devotional today, we're going from the book of faith. Sophia says, I understand this so well. My table is so full all the time that I had to organize my destiny for it to become my true destiny. Love your books. I have 3 of them. Oh, thank you, Sophia. And thank you for sharing as well. I hope that these books are changing your life because that's what I write them for. I write them to help. And thank you for chiming in. You guys, feel free to chime in. We're here for you and me. Like, I have a voice and I'm sharing my voice in hopes that you will raise your voice as well. Okay. And so this month we're talking about faith from the Earthly Branches devotional series, from my devotional series. We're talking about faith. And I'm sorry, I can't really get it right in the frame for you all on YouTube and Facebook. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get it in the right light. But we are on week 2 here of this. And week 2, the scripture focuses on Ecclesiastes 3. Now, this book, along with the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny, can also be purchased at my website, www.stalkyourdestiny.com/shop. Okay. And so again, I am reading from Ecclesiastes 3. And I might read the whole thing because it's not long. Okay. Usually I don't read the whole scripture, but this one is not long and I might make points about a lot of it. Okay. So Ecclesiastes chapter 3 says, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Thank you, Drea. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear down and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. What do workers gain from their toil? I have seen the burden God has laid on the human race. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the heart, yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. I know that there is nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good while they live, that each of them may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all their toil. This is the gift of God. I know that everything God does will endure forever. Nothing can be added to it and nothing taken from it. God does it so that people will fear him. Whatever has already been and what will be has been before, and God will call the past to account. And I saw something else under the sun. In the place of judgment, wickedness was there. In the place of justice, wickedness was there. I said to myself, God will bring into judgment both the righteous and the wicked. For there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed. I also said to myself, as for humans, God tests them so that they may see that they are like the animals. Surely the fate of human beings is like that of the animals. The same fate awaits them both. As one dies, so dies the other. All have the same breath. Humans have no advantage over animals. Everything is meaningless. All go to the same place. All come from the dust, and to the dust all return. Who knows if the human spirit rises upward and if the spirit of the animal goes down into the earth? So I saw that there is nothing better for a person than to enjoy their work because it is their lot. For who can bring them to see what will happen after them? Okay, y'all, that was Ecclesiastes 3. Thank you for bearing with me on that. That's a little longer than I usually read for you guys, but business and Bible basics, we got to get to the business of it. That's Ecclesiastes 3. So the first point here says there's a time for everything. One thing cannot merely be in and of itself. There is an opposite for all things. There's a time to do and be, and a time not to do or be. The daily focus here says there is a season for every activity under heaven. And the question here says, how balanced are you in your life? And so think about that, y'all. How balanced are you? Do you spend, like, some people have seasons of life that are good, and then you have seasons of life that are not so good, and you notice these different patterns, right? We all kind of, if you pay attention to your life, you kind of notice, what upsets you and what brings you joy, right? So how balanced are you in your life? And I'm the type of person where I'm just like, we can experience the bad, but I'm going to see the good in it. I'm going to figure out what the good is in it, or I'm going to run to the good, if I'm experiencing the bad, I'm going to run to the good. I'm going to run to the lessons of things, If there's a glass and say the glass is your life, right? Then we're going to pour water in this glass and we're going to pour it halfway, right? Your perspective is your perspective. Nonetheless, the glass is half occupied, okay? Whether it's half full or half empty, it is occupied halfway. How balanced are you in your life? Take inventory of that and just see, am I balanced or am I all over the place? As a chaos coordinator, that's something that I tell people, like, purge it out. And what I mean by that is, if your mind is full of thoughts, you're overwhelmed with emotion, you're overwhelmed with thought, anger, rage, whatever it is, right? Whatever you feel, if you're confused, purge that out. By purging it, do any type of free writing or escaping creativity exercise, like painting, breathing, skating, walking in nature, to clear your mind. And then you can determine, like, usually you have that chaos there because you're out of balance, right? And so figure out, like, what brings you back to balance, okay? The second point here says, we must trust God's timing. He knows the beginning and end of all things. He has made everything beautiful, and keep your heart on eternity, right? Keep your heart on eternity. So here the daily focus says, he's always right on time. And then the question here says, can you trust God's timing? I know so many people that, we say God's always right on time, but we're just like, come on, God, like, for real, where are you? Like, could you hurry up? Could you come on, with it? And trusting God's timing really puts things into perspective, in hindsight, when you're in it and you're going forward, we struggle with that. Like, we want God on our time because of the pressure of the situations. We want God on our side because we're like, this can't be it right now. This got to end. This got to change. Something here's got to give, right? But can you trust God's timing? Even if you're in the waiting, even if you're in the waiting, you're pressing forward, like, can you trust that God's timing is working out for your good, and not so much against you or holding you hostage or anything like that? And I know that can be hard if you're in a tough situation, if you're waiting on a promotion, if you're waiting on finances to meet, one another, meet the expenses necessary, or things like that. So here, I think I wrote for myself, y'all. I write in these are interactive devotionals. You can answer these questions in these books. And it looks here that I wrote, it's not always easy to know what to do in the waiting, but if you be still long enough, God will show you what to do. Okay. And it says patience is necessary, but the wait is always worth it. Now, that's what I wrote for myself. I wrote that July 4th of 2023. Okay. And so, yeah, patience is necessary, y'all. So point 3 says, do good and be happy. Eat, drink, and find the joy in your daily labor. Allow God to carry the burden for you or with you. God's plans will endure forever, and we can't change his plans, right? We can't change them at all. And the daily focus here says, live your life and be happy. And the question here is, are you happy? I feel like a lot of us need permission that it's okay for you to be happy. It is okay for you to have joy. It's okay for you to experience goodness in your life. It's okay that shit might be a little bad right now, a little tough, right? But you find something that makes you smile. That is okay. Um, are you happy? You are allowed to be happy. Life is gonna happen, and I think we need to throw away the whole life is life, the math ain't math, and all that stuff. I feel like we need to throw that stuff away because make it make sense to you. If the math isn't adding up, redo it. If life is hard right now, readjust. Readjust. It can be hard, it can be beautiful, it can be all these things. If you don't like what it is, readjust. It sounds simple, I should say, but it really starts with your mindset. It really starts with that. So are you happy? And do you know that you have the right to be happy? And y'all, I don't know if you follow me on my social media platforms, but I have been posting about being blessed in the midst of hard times, being blessed in the midst of struggles. And the thing that the enemy would want to take from that is to make you feel like because your life is hard or challenging right now, or something in your life is hard or challenging right now, that you don't deserve joy, that you don't deserve to have peace. But the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy anyway. And so God will show you if you want to see the good. God will show you the good that is in the midst of those things. People used to say that there's blessings in the storms. There are blessings in the storms. Life can be a beautiful disaster, but there's still beauty in it, right? And so you deserve to be happy. Whoever you are listening to this, you deserve to be happy. You have the right to be. I'm giving you permission because God has given us all permission to be happy, even in the midst of struggles. Even if you feel like you're living your best life and maybe it's a lie, okay? I don't care. You have permission to be happy. Now I'm gonna put Tarah's suggestion though, is that you don't have to hurt somebody else to be happy. You don't have to step on somebody else for you to be happy. And actually you being genuinely happy for yourself and with yourself in your own circumstances, that frees someone else up so that they also can know that they have a right to be happy, and that even in the midst of struggles, if they see you being happy, they can learn from you how to go about finding that happiness and joy for themselves as well. Okay. Let me do one more real quick here for y'all. Another point says God has gone before us and prepared the space. He walked this thing out for us. So what is for us has already been for him. So what is for us has already been for him. Okay. There's nothing new under the sun. And so the daily focus here says what has been will be again. Okay. And so the question here is, do you believe that history repeats itself? And I think that what I mean by this is something I speak about as well, is that time is parallel right now. It can parallel so where it says here in the scripture, it says whatever is has already been, and what will be has been before, and God will call the past into account, which means everything is overlapping, right? Right now. I've done this already before because God already walked this thing out for me, right? God already walked this out for me. So I'm just walking the path that God already laid for me. I've never been here before in this second and in this moment, this time right now with you guys. I've never been here before, but God already walked it out for me. Okay. And then when I'm done, it's the past. What I did 20 minutes ago is the past. And that's going to be called into account right now. It's being called into account right now while it's happening. So walk that thing out. Whatever it is you're dealing with, whatever it is you're going through in your life, whatever it is you're getting to in your life, that good thing that you're getting to, your destiny, your purpose, God, walk that thing out. And just understand that you should learn to find satisfaction in what you're choosing to do. And even if you're doing something, you say, well, somebody else said I had to do this, or, I felt like I was pushing to it. You still had a choice to say yes or no. And if you said yes or no, whatever that is, whatever choice you made, walk that thing out. Because there's a song that says live through it, and when it comes to issues and things like that, you can't just get over them. You've got to go through them, see everything through to the end, or cause it to be the end by making a new decision today. You have the right to make a new decision in your day as well. You have the right to say yes and mean it. You have the right to say no and mean it. Again, y'all, that was from the Earthly Branches 12-book devotional series. And this month we're studying the faith devotional. Okay. And you can get that from my website. Also, guys, you can book a session with me if that's some things you need to talk about later. If you have some things in your life or business that are chaotic, you need order to those things. You have these ideas and you just need to run them across a business professional. I am your chaos coordinator and goal management specialist. I am an accountability partner. And so you can book a session with me at www.stan.store/stalk your destiny, y'all. That's www.stan as in STAN.store/stalk your destiny. You can book a chat with me. It's a chat with a coach, and that is about up to 45 minutes long, where we can just have a conversation. If you're not sure about how I can assist you, or if I'm the right life coach or chaos coordinator for you, you can book a discovery session with me. And a discovery session is up to about 20 minutes with me, just to see, express what you have on your mind and see if there is a way that I can support your journey or your project that you have that you're working on. If you would like to schedule a one-on-one chat with me or call with me virtual, that's a one-on-one session that you can book. Also, all those things you can book at www.stan.store/stalk your destiny, y'all. And for those of you who don't know, I have been doing this for almost 10 years now. We've almost completed 10 years, right? So I'll be celebrating 10 years of Stalk Your Destiny at the end of March 2025. And so you're not getting just a new girl in these streets. You're getting somebody who's been dedicated to the process, dedicated to creating what God has called me to create, the tools to help you go forward in your life. And also, I have tools in terms of planners and journals that I use with my clients as well to help you guys organize your life, figure out what your purpose is, your destiny is, create a roadmap to success if that's necessary, and walk that thing out, literally. Okay. So get to www.stan.store/stalk your destiny and book your session with me, whichever one works for you. Or you can download my book, Permeate, as well, there for free. Permeate is available for you guys at stan.store/stalkyourdestiny.com, and you can, download that and read that as my gift to you. Okay. What is our business topic of the week, y'all? Sophia, do I have a daily planner? Is it on the website? You didn't see that. I have monthly planners, and the monthly planners do have daily pages in them, inspiration, affirmation, and agenda breakdown as well. If you go to www.stalkyourdestiny.com/shop, you'll see my planners. It should be 12 different planners and accountability tools there. And Sophie, if you have any other questions, then you can just find me on social media or just communicate with me. It should be contact information on those as well. But yes, it's on my website. You can also message me from the website as well. But those planners it's a monthly planner that you're looking for that has daily pages in it as well. Yes. Okay. So our business topic of the week, we've been talking about it already, really is to focus on timing. Why? Because time is everything. Time is like a currency to me as well. Water flows freely. It does not stop flowing. Time flows freely. It does not stop flowing. and money flows freely. It does not stop flowing. Okay. So focus on timing. And so I didn't really think this through, y'all, today when I was like, okay, we're talking about faith and timing. And so in my notes, I wrote, what matters to you? And so with that, what I'm getting now is like, what matters to you in terms of you have to be able to prioritize first, right? And so I believe I mentioned before, and I mentioned this a lot, you do what you have to do so that you can do what you want to do. But most people don't get asked, like, what's important to you? If you have the opportunity to manage your own time, and this is an exercise I do with my clients, right? I ask them, what does your perfect day look like? From the moment you wake up to the time you go to sleep, what does your perfect day look like? How would you spend your time? And so in focusing on your time, we're talking about checking in with you. And in this world where we have to like defend ourselves, like this is me, this is who I am, or we have to show and prove like this is my lifestyle and all of that. How much time do you get to take really to yourself and say, what do I want to do today? I find that with most cases, we're not even asking ourselves what we want to do or what we like to do until we find ourselves depressed or single and alone. And that's the truth of the matter, right? But the reality of it is that we really should get used to asking ourselves, what matters to me? I have very specific things about life, and I have a way like, I want things to be one way or the other, and I'm pretty sure of those things, right? But most of the time when it involves other people, what matters to me is that it goes smoothly. And so with that, when other people are involved, I put me back and I say, okay, well, what would make this the smoothest? What would make it the smoothest would be going with the flow of the other person, right? But that doesn't mean that you don't matter. And so when it comes to focusing on how you're spending your time, think about what matters to you. What matters financially to you? Why is money important? What matters to you spiritually? How are you spending your time spiritually? What does that life look like? What about mentally? Mental health is a big conversation, but it's not a big action taken. It's not a big action taken. We're so caught up in what the world and social media tells us to do that we don't actually sit back and do the things that we talk about doing. I take a lot of time alone. I take a lot of time for my mental health. I take a lot of time away from noise. Like, noise is chaotic. I'm the chaos coordinator. I don't dwell in chaos. Noise is chaotic. I can perform through chaos. I can focus. But mentally, what matters to you? Physically, like, yeah, I'm so sick of vanity. I'm not going to get on that soapbox, okay? But physically, what matters to you? And I'm not talking about other people. What matters to you about you physically? What's important to you? Okay. And then emotionally, right? So even when we talk about mental health, we separate that from our emotions. And sometimes your mental health is based on your level of honesty regarding your emotions. And yes, this is for men as well, because you feel as well. You feel anger, you feel joy, you want to protect, you want to serve, you want to honor, you all these things. You feel proud. Okay, we all have different emotions, right? And so emotionally, what matters to you? What matters to you? So when it comes to focusing on timing and figuring out what matters to you, I stayed on this because I want you to understand that, like I gave you permission at the beginning. You have permission. You have the right to be happy. Men and women, you have the right to be happy and healthy, y'all, not happy and toxic. Let's be clear. I don't mean happy and toxic. I mean happy and healthy, right? And so figuring out what matters to you, it's very important that you take the time to do that. Because here we're talking about faith, hope, love, and leadership. And if you're not okay, like I had, case in point, I had a therapist tell me years ago, about 2018, I had a therapist, maybe 2017, I had a therapist tell me, if you're not okay, if mom and dad are not okay, then the kids are not okay. And I do want to speak on that a little bit because I did see someone recently. I saw a stranger and I didn't think that she was okay. And it was just my opinion. I just didn't think she was okay. And so our kids mimic our attitudes sometimes. When we're frustrated or tired, we treat them a certain way. And when we do that, we typically get tantrums from our children or, acting out. And what we don't realize is that they're doing what they see us doing. Even though we're frustrated, we're, whatever, they don't know that from us. They know that we have this energy and this behavior and we're putting it off on them. And then they're in turn giving it back to us, which frustrates us even more. Right. So check on you. And just make sure that you're being healthy and happy for you, because you get to do that and you get to see, well, what matters to me, and try to focus in on the solutions of things. Okay. So the next part of this topic of focusing on timing is acting in right season, y'all. Acting in right season. And so we know that in the scripture it was saying there's a time for everything, for every activity under heaven. There's a time for it, right? But acting in right season is like, okay, so when am I supposed to do X, Y, and Z, right? And so this comes in like trusting God's direction and directive. Okay. And so when you're in the season, you know how you can do all the right things at the wrong time. You can do all the right things in a relationship and be in the wrong relationship, and even that comes from taking inventory and figuring out, what do I want? And is this what I want? Is this what I want in business? Am I getting the outcomes that I'm seeking here? Am I getting what I'm looking for? And I believe we talked about that last week too, with the executing plans, but this isn't about the plan. This is about the timing of it, right? This is about moving at your flow. And I typically tell people, like, if you're happy to do it, do it. If you're not happy to do it, don't do it, because the Bible tells us, let your yes be yes and your no be no. And even right here in my notes, I put being cheerful with your efforts. If you can't be a cheerful giver of your time, your energy, your efforts, anything, your smile, then don't give it, because you don't have that to give. We're taught to give from our overflow. And so most of the time we don't give from we stretch from our depletion, right? And in stretching from your depletion, even with your timing, you don't have time to do like, oh, I don't have enough time to do this. I don't have enough time to do that. Because you're wasting time. And by wasting time, that's not to say you're an irresponsible person. It's saying that you haven't figured out what matters to you the most, or you don't honor that. You know it and you don't honor it. You don't know how to honor it. You don't know how to get what matters to you to fit into what you feel like you have to do, because you're busy being busy, right? And so even in that, take inventory. Take a day or two. Purge those things out. There's another exercise I do with my clients. It's a plate exercise, right? And so I write what's on their plate. Like I draw a circle and I write all the things that you have going on right now in your life, right? And then I draw up another plate and I say, how do you want this to look? How do you want your life to look, right? And being a cheerful giver, you're doing all these things that's on your plate right now grudgingly. And that's not beneficial to you or anybody else, because the truth is that you don't want to do them. And sometimes we say yes to things because we're just trying to be good from our heart. We're like, they need help. Let me go help them, but you don't want to do it. And what I find with that, what I have found for myself with that is when I do something I really don't want to do, I get aggravated really quickly. I'm just like, fuck all this. Like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be here. Right. And that's because I wasn't being a cheerful giver. That's because I did not honor me. Honoring yourself is not about being selfish. It's about giving the best of you to yourself and others. Because when I honor me and I say, hey, I can help you with that, but I can help you at this time when I'm at my best self. If someone doesn't want to, accept that, that's okay. That means that's a no for them. And you guys, we have to start practicing when we are giving of ourselves, giving of our time and our efforts. We've got to start practicing accepting when someone else rejects us. If someone wants your help, energy, time, efforts, and you're willing to compromise and figure it out, and then they reject that, like that's not good enough, be willing to throw up your hands and say, okay, no problem. Because I was open to serving you. And I see that what I'm offering to you is not what you desire. So good luck with that. And some people say, oh, well, that's so mean or that's so forward. It is absolutely not. Because I honor me and because I want to be cheerful in my giving to you, this is when I can do that and be at my best for you. If you do not honor that, then what I notice is you don't honor me. And so I bid you farewell. Period. If you cannot be a cheerful giver, then it's a no for you. If someone is not accepting of your willingness to compromise or adjusting to support them, then it's a no. Okay. We've got to be willing to see the no's. And that's where it goes back to what matters to you. Does it matter to you to be a people pleaser? Or does it matter to you to be your best self? Live your best life. Be at your best health internally and externally. What matters? Like, even when it comes to working your faith, y'all, and timing, right? Being of good cheer, right? Even being of good cheer when there's no harvest. When trials come. I just mentioned to someone recently to read the book of James. James 1 says, consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds, because the testing of your faith will produce perseverance. Perseverance will produce character, and character will produce, I think, patience. And then it says, let patience finish her work so that you will be complete, lacking nothing. We don't want to wait on nothing, y'all. We don't want to wait on nothing. When you're facing trials of many kinds, you don't want to wait. You don't want to work your faith. You just want what you want when you want it. Focus on the timing, though. Sometimes we're waiting on things to happen because God is preparing the answers to our prayers. And we don't recognize that. And we just want it now because we live in a popcorn generation or social media generation where you feel like you can have that instant gratification right away. And that's not the case, That's not the case. Does God answer our prayers right away? Usually, yes, the answers are provided right away, but the path to it is what takes time. The journey to get there is what takes time. And so are you even cheerful in your time with God? Like, some people say a scripture a day to keep the devil away. Like, why? Why are you doing that? And are you committed to that? Because if you're committed to that, then eventually you're going to grow in that. And it's going to go from a scripture a day. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong to start with the scripture a day. But I'm saying if you truly desire to grow in your faith, you truly desire to grow in your job, you truly desire to grow in your relationship, then guess what you're going to do with those things? You're going to spend time with them. You're going to invest time with them because that's what matters to you. And that is where you're happy to give of yourself. Y'all, life is all about service. I hate to break it to you. We're here to serve one another. I mentioned that before. Many members, one body. We are here to serve. But that does not mean that you don't matter. That, like I said, it means you have the right to be happy. You do matter. And in acting in right season, you got to know that no matter what, I don't know why I feel strongly about letting you guys know that you matter. I do feel strongly about letting you know that you find there's nothing better to do. It was in the scripture than to eat, drink, be merry, and find satisfaction in the work of your hands. Whatever you put your hands to do, find satisfaction in that. If you put your hands to hug one another, do it with love. If you put your hands to help or support someone else, do that with love. If you put your hands to take care of yourself, right? because that's a service to yourself. It's a service to yourself, knowing that you matter. Like, I matter, so I'm going to take care of my hygiene. I matter, so I'm going to make sure I get enough rest. I matter, so I'm going to prepare to show up for others. I matter. So you matter. You got to know that you matter enough to wait on things. You matter enough to work towards things. And when it comes to like the timing, y'all, okay, let's talk about like business and waiting in business and waiting on God. This perseverance. Like, I'm sick of persevering. I'm sick of these trials. I'm sick of all of this. Then make better decisions, or trust that what you've prayed for requires you to grow in these different avenues, right? Because God will put us to tests. And I don't mean that the Lord tests us. He will put us through things to strengthen us and prepare us to walk into things. And not just that either. I had a conversation this morning and I was saying, like, wow, God really humbled me in a way. Like, I followed what he told me to do and I got humbled along the way, as if I wasn't already humble, right? As if I wasn't humble, I got humbled even more in preparation to receive what it was I prayed about. And that's a lot to digest. Remember that what you're praying about is what's putting you in these different positions. What you're praying for God to reveal, if it's, like, oh, I think that there's some negative things going on, or I think that there's an amazing blessing on the way, right? God, reveal that to me. Show me that, right? Take me there to those things, right? That's going to come with a journey that you may not be prepared for, because God's going to get you ready to receive what it is you prayed for. You prayed for things to be revealed. God knows you may not be able to handle that. So let me prepare you to get ready for that. And so timing matters in that, okay? Timing matters in when God blesses you with what you're asking for. You could completely forfeit your blessings by asking for God to give them to you now, and then you not going through the process that God has for you. You could forfeit your blessing with business, your blessing with your community, your blessing in your family or in your love life. You could totally forfeit those things if you're not prepared for them, because you're not mentally strong, you're not emotionally well, you don't know how much you really matter. And don't get me wrong, God sends people along the way too to fill you up, y'all. It's not that you're alone in these things. Timing matters, because there are things that we need to do and receive as well while God is working different things out for us, okay? And so in your faith walk, because that's all I've been on, y'all, faith walk, you don't have hope for things you already have. That's in Romans too. We don't hope for what we already have. That's not hope at all. But you need to keep the hope, right? Your faith is what allows you to keep hope. It allows you to look to hope. Okay. And then the love is really the love of God, and that should be in you and you loving yourself. And if you fill up on that love by spending time there, like I told y'all before, God is my business partner. I strategize with God. And so I strategize with God, and with that, with that, I have to sit with God and I have to get on his timeline of things. It's not just all my plans, okay? And I'm sorry, I got a little thrown off real quick. For those of you who don't know, I am ADHD diagnosed. So sometimes I get thrown off and I'm trying to do a couple of things all at the same time. Okay. But let me see. We got a community plug, y'all. And I'm going to shout out our sponsors too. Let me know what you thought about our business topic of the week. Let me know what you thought about our devotional today as well. But our community plug, y'all, with the BFAM 109.6. I mentioned Drea had made a couple of comments on here, and her show, she has a show on BFAM 109.6 as well. Her show is called Had to Do It with Drea Nicole. You can check her out, y'all, on Friday nights at 9 p.m. on BFAM 109.6, 1096.com, or the BFAM 109.6 page as well. On Facebook, if you're watching me on Facebook. Again, that's Drea. It's called Had to Do It with Drea Nicole on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, y'all, with BFAM 109.6. Okay. Again, I want to shout out my sponsor today, Handy Hicks LLC, and that's your neighborhood handyman. Okay. He does a lot of things with that company, but you can check it out at Handy Hicks LLC. And stalk your destiny, y'all. Stalking your destiny is about everything you want to become, you already are. It's really accepting your identity, who God called you to be, your direction, where God has you in your life and where you're going to go, where He wants you to go, and your accountability, which is how you're going to get there. Okay. So with Stalk Your Destiny, we are connecting you to your destiny one step at a time. And even with timing, that's important, y'all. Okay. And so if you want to become a sponsor of the show or make a donation to the show, for donations, you can hit up my Cash App at hashtag Stalk Your Destiny. You can make a donation at Venmo via Stalk Your Destiny. Or you can go to paypal.me/Stalk Your Destiny. Okay. And that's if you want to make a donation. If you'd like to be a sponsor for the show, please send me an email at teatimewithtara@gmail.com. That's TEA time with TARAH@gmail.com, y'all. Okay. And that's for if you want to be a sponsor of the show or if you want to donate to the show, so that we can keep going with this. Tea Time with Tarah has been going on since 2016, October of 2016. And so in October, we'll be celebrating 8 years of doing Tea Time with Tarah in the community, y'all. And so it's much more than just this show, much more than just this radio show. We've been doing a lot of radio shows. I've been co-hosting things as well. And so, yes, if you want to make a donation, hit up my Cash App, Stalk Your Destiny, Venmo, Stalk Your Destiny, paypal.me/Stalk Your Destiny. And please be sure, we love sponsors. We love community plugs. This is not just a show for me to talk about Tarah. This is a show about faith, hope, love, and leadership, y'all. Okay? So let me see what else I have to shout out for you guys before I end this show today. I feel like that was a lot. It can be compound when you're talking about time and execution, thinking about yourself. I feel like I was repeating myself, but I hope that I made the points clear on the fact that you matter, on the fact that it's fine, that nothing, we said at the beginning that timing, there's a time for everything. And we're getting ready to go into this fall season, you guys. In some places, the weather has transitioned, but the season has not officially begun. And so with us getting ready to go into that season, be mindful of, what do I want the end of this year to round out to be for me? It's something I ask my clients. Y'all are getting free life coaching, okay, on these videos, on this show, okay? But think about it. What do you want to toast to by the end of this year? It's December 31st. 2024, it's 11:59 p.m. What are we toasting to? What have you celebrated? What are you celebrating? I'm sorry. What have you achieved from now until then, guys? Think about that. Think about the timing, about what matters to you, about working your faith and believing for it, y'all. Okay? So, my website, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Please be sure to check out my website at www.stalkyourdestiny.com. If you want to find out more information about me, see different articles or podcasts that I've been a guest on, articles that I've been featured in, magazines, and things like that. You can see that on my website at www.stalkyourdestiny.com. And again, you can connect with me or follow me on Instagram at Stalk Your Destiny Official. Y'all, please go over to Instagram. If you haven't already, go over to Instagram and just add me. Let me know you saw the show. Also, share this with somebody, y'all. And be sure that you comment below if you have any other questions that did not get answered today, any comments you want to make about the show today, chime in and share this with somebody. Have a conversation about these topics, y'all. They shouldn't stop here. This is the starting point. So it shouldn't stop with us here. This should just be something that opens you up to whatever you're doing next, wherever you're going next. Okay. And remember to go check out the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny and check out the devotionals. We have more coming too, y'all. The 12-book series is not completed yet. I still have 4 more books to produce for you guys in the 12-book series for the devotions, which means that more newness is coming. Okay. And so I hope you're ready to walk into your newness. I hope you're ready to walk into what God has for you. I hope you're ready to walk into what God has for you next, because as the seasons change and the spiritual realm shifts gears here, y'all, I hope that you're ready and expecting some beautiful things to happen in your life, especially if you're someone who's listening to the show. You're listening, this is Tea Time with Tarah, and it's business and Bible basics. So I hope that God is ushering you into a new season of blessings. And I hope that even if it feels tough or it looks terrible, that God can clear your eyes and your perspective and show you the beauty in whatever it is that you're dealing with, guys. Again, I don't know why I keep going off of what I want to talk about today, but it's just, I feel like you need to know that there's nothing too hard for God. There's nothing that God can't turn around in your life. And sometimes you do have to hold on, but believe for it, y'all. Believe for it and get to the end of it, okay? This has been Tea Time with Tarah, live and on air. I'm your host, Tarah M. Williams, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Here we discuss business and Bible basics, and we believe you have a voice and it needs to be heard. Please be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Stalk Your Destiny, y'all. Also catch my show, The Tea Time with Tarah Show, and hear what previous guests, and we have 2 more episodes this year, but hear what the guests had to say, what they needed on their journey to stalking their destiny. If you haven't already, head over to IG and follow me at Stalk Your Destiny Official. Again, I am Tarah M. Williams, y'all, the voice of faith, hope, love, and leadership. Thank you for tuning in today to Tea Time with Tarah, live and on air with BFAM 109.6. Until next time.
Every time it's on everything, the life you choosing, I'm cheddaring. No matter the form of the weaponry, gotta keep stalking my destiny. Time's getting worse, I'm bettering. My sin is secure, ain't no tethering. I ain't gonna stop till I rest in peace and they put the heart on my great lettering. Every time, I ain't laid back unless I'm in my 300. Circle is little, cause I keep it 100. Minus my issues, I'm so hard when I'm on it. 100% ain't enough, I get 200. Every time, know what I'ma run from. I'm that one opponent, you don't want none from. Manual van where my strength get pumped from. So what's the lie to a child of God? Standing toe to toe, no hiding now. The Lord is with me, you can't fight the rock. I got the sauce, you want to hide. The destiny mine, I'ma stalk it out. The strength assassin, you just bought it out. Your giant carcass, I'ma walk it out. You gon' be wishing that you wouldn't have called me out. Cause every time be on that throw down, let's get us a showdown. Come and get someone, got another go around. Big as it is, so hard they go down. Since destiny something we can't change, but quitting will stop you from great gains. And faith will make capable great things. I done decided to break pain. Move around and call me on my A game, so it's me like the A train. The people that I'm stalking